Here's a question almost no one thinks to ask, but once you think about it, it is hard to stop thinking about it. What did ancient humans smell like? Not a question that comes up in history class, and yet it might be the most vivid question you can ask about the ancient world. But it is one of the most direct ways to connect with what ancient life actually felt like. Not something museums put on their signs, but smell is one of the most intimate and immediate senses we have. If you could travel to the ancient past, smell would hit you first. Every historian who has thought about this agrees. The smell would be overwhelming before anything you see or hear. The human nose processes smell faster than the eyes process images. And the answer to what ancient humans smelled like is genuinely surprising. Not in the way you expect, not revolting. Surprising in the other direction.
The obvious assumption is that they smelled terrible. No soap, no deodorant, no showers, living outdoors, working physically, never washing their hair, surrounded by animals, sleeping in close quarters with other humans. The assumption is they must have been unbearable to be near. This is almost certainly wrong. But it is hard to imagine why without knowing the science. But this assumption makes a fundamental error. It forgets that smell is chemistry, and chemistry is shaped by environment and diet. It assumes that modern human body odor is the baseline, but modern humans are, in terms of microbiome and diet, among the most abnormal humans who have ever lived. That if you take a modern human and remove their soap, you get an ancient human, but that is not how it works.
Body odor is not simply a product of washing or not washing. Athletes who sweat heavily but eat well often have far less offensive body odor than sedentary people who eat poorly. It is primarily a product of what you eat. Diet shapes body chemistry. Body chemistry shapes the bacteria that colonize you. Bacteria produce smell. What you eat changes what your skin secretes, what your breath smells like. Every meal changes your body's chemical output for hours afterward, what your gut microbiome produces, and what the bacteria on your skin feed on. The bacteria on the skin are what actually produce most body odor compounds. Ancient humans ate a completely different diet from modern humans. The difference is staggering. Most modern humans eat from a very narrow range of foods. No processed food, no refined sugar, no factory-farmed meat, no artificial flavorings, no preservatives, no food that comes in a package. Wild meat, wild plants, roots, berries, seasonal and varied. Studies estimate ancient hunter-gatherers ate over 200 different plant species in a year, extraordinarily diverse by modern standards, rich in plants. The modern average diet includes around 20 different plant foods. Ancient diets, hundreds. And this diet produces a completely different body chemistry at the molecular level. Different metabolites, different compounds excreted through the skin. The key is the microbiome. 3 trillion organisms living on and in every human body. The community of bacteria that live on and in the human body. Modern humans have a dramatically impoverished microbiome. The average Westerner has lost around 40% of their ancestral microbiome diversity. Antibiotics, processed food, soap, antiseptics, each one a powerful disruptor of the ancient microbiome balance. All of these have reduced the diversity of bacteria on and in us. Ancient humans had a far richer, more diverse microbiome because they ate more diverse foods and because they were not routinely exposed to antibiotics. Studies comparing modern hunter-gatherers to Western populations show dramatic differences. One that was in a kind of balance that modern humans have largely lost, a balance built over hundreds of thousands of years of coevolution with these organisms. And a more balanced, diverse microbiome may actually produce less offensive body odor. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer populations support this. The bacteria that produce the most offensive odors are often those that thrive in microbiome-depleted environments. Not more, less. There are other factors too. The physical activity level, the stress level, the sleep quality, all affecting body chemistry. Ancient humans spent most of their lives outdoors, not in sealed buildings, not in air-conditioned offices, in open air, in fresh air, moving water, wind, sunlight. Ancient humans crossed rivers, bathed in streams, got rained on. This is not the same as showering with soap, but it is also not zero water exposure. Not with soap, but regularly in contact with water. And fire. Every ancient human was a habitual fire user. Fire was central to their daily life. Ancient humans smelled of wood smoke constantly. The smoke from fires was everywhere, in their hair, their clothes, their skin, animal fat from cooking, herbs and plants they used for medicine, earth, grass, the particular smell of the specific landscape they lived in, the savanna, the forest, the coast, the mountain. Each smelled different, and they smelled of it. Their smell was a map of where they had been, what they had eaten, what they had done.
And here is the twist. We assume ancient humans smelled worse than we do. The assumption is natural, but it confuses hygiene practice with body chemistry. But there is a strong argument that modern humans smell worse than ancient ones. Not because ancient humans were cleaner, but because their body chemistry was different. Cleanliness and chemistry are different variables. Confusing them is the core mistake. Modern processed food produces a specific body chemistry, one that produces more offensive odor compounds. The modern gut microbiome, depleted and imbalanced, may produce more unpleasant metabolites. Certain gut bacteria produce trimethylamine and other offensive compounds in higher quantities when the microbiome is depleted. And modern soap actually disrupts the skin microbiome by stripping away the natural bacterial community that helps regulate body odor. The skin has a natural bacterial ecosystem. Soap disrupts it. The disruption then requires more soap, meaning we need soap because we use soap, a dependency that did not exist before soap created it. Before soap existed, humans managed body odor through their natural microbiome and diet. Ancient humans smelled of wood smoke, of earth, of the landscape around them, a smell that is in some ways more honest, less chemical, more real, rich, complex, natural, entirely unlike modern body odor, of wild plants and clean streams and animal fat and fresh air, a smell that no modern human has ever smelled on another person, a different smell, not a worse smell, different from anything modern nostrils are trained to expect, but not inferior, and quite possibly a better one. Not better by our trained modern noses, but better by the body's own natural standards. The ancient human did not know they had a smell advantage, but they might have.
Subscribe. Every day we dig up one piece of the ancient human story.